some things are better left in the past.
I can think of a lot of things that would be better left in the past, like the online pass when you bought a used game. You had to pay the extra $10.
Actually, I wasn't against that at all. I was one of those who supported that entirely. I am 100% against Shenmue 1 and 2. Yeah.
Remastered?
You can't even call it a remaster anymore because it just says Shenmue 1 and 2 on the box, as we just discovered.
I saw it on the box when I bought the game, and I took it home, and I looked all over the box for Shenmue 1 and 2, and I don't see the words HD or remake anywhere on this.
At all.
And I didn't get a chance to play it, but from what I've seen, is it actually remastered or anything?
I don't think so. I think, no, definitely not. I feel like it's just, like the console, the PS4 console is a stronger console than the Dreamcast, so it's making things look more colorful, but there's literally nothing remastered about this game. And normally that wouldn't be a bad thing, until you realize it's a bad thing, because it's an old-ass game. Like, the game is almost 2 decades old.
It is.
Like, it's going to be 2 decades old next year. So it genuinely feels like they just took a, PC emulator of Shenmue 1 and 2, put it on a disc, and made it compatible with PS4, and then it was like, here you go, enjoy. And it's impossible to enjoy. Like, the tank controls are terrible.
Oh no, they didn't fix the controls?
They didn't fix the controls at all. The audio is still bad.
It's still, does it have that little kind of screechy thing from the old games where it's like someone's shouting and it's kind of breaking the microphone and you can hear that?
Yes, you can. It's all really bad. Like, there's really nothing positive I can say about the game except for the fact that I got to replay Shenmue without having to buy a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And I mean, for $30 for both games, that's definitely cheaper than buying a Dreamcast and buying both games.
And an Xbox for the other one, actually.
Yeah, an Xbox. Well, no, it got ported from Dreamcast to Xbox.
Oh, 2 did?
Yeah.
I know about that. I saw it on Xbox, what is this? I didn't even know what it was when it came out.
Shenmue 1 and 2 were both available on Dreamcast, and then Shenmue 2 was ported to Xbox because Dreamcast was already dead. So they were just like, well, I guess, whatever. But what makes it, what's really fascinating is, in a world where everyone comes at EA for anything they do wrong, at all. Even just now, we talked about the online passes. Yeah. It's literally almost a decade old as well, and people still give them crap about it. But, I've looked online, and I was wondering, as I was writing the review for it, which I did not give it a good score, I was just kind of like, what did other people think? So I started looking at other reviews, and I was like, wow, this is the type of thing that makes people believe that journalists get paid to say positive things about games. Because the amount of, positive reviews I saw from the major outlets was mind-blowing. I was like, did I miss something
What was they getting, 8s and 9s?
They were giving, 7s and 8s, and, people were like, oh, it's a little wonky, but it's still a classic. No, it was a classic until they brought it back to life and didn't do anything to fix it. Now it's not a classic anymore. Now it's just a reminder of how far we've come from the crap we used to play back then.
I heard there are sections in the first game that just make you wait, and you have absolutely no way of spending that time.
There's nothing to really, you have things you can do in that time, but there's nothing to do in that time. So there's no purpose for this time. It's just waiting for this character to appear. And that was kind of part of the story. It was kind of
everyone was alive.
Yeah. Back then, everyone was alive, and they had their own sense of a life that they had. So you had to wait for this person to just happen to pop up in that area that you were in, and if you missed it, you had to wait again. And like I said, they just took the game and made an emulator for PlayStation and for the new Xbox, and that's still the thing that happens. And it's a lot of the stuff that I feel like people were praising this game for were things that were breakthrough moments at that time.
Yeah.
So that type of AI and that type of programming was oh my God, this is mind blowing. But now we have Yakuza. Now we have GTA 5. Now we have a completely different standard of gaming, and nothing in Shenmue is acceptable.
Yeah. Oh man, that doesn't sound good at all. Sounds like it inspired a lot of things, but now everything has done it so much better that you go back and you're like, this is broken and or wrong.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it. And it sucks because if I hadn't played it this way, I wouldn't, that image of the game wouldn't be tarnished. And this is the issue that I guess this is like the double-edged sword, and I said this in the review of wanting old games to be remade. There are people out there that I'm 100% sure enjoy the fact that they are getting to relive the exact experience that they had on Dreamcast, because they're like that big of a fan and like that in-depth of fandom of what Shenmue was and represented.
Well, it's like a precursor to Yakuza in a way, right?
It's a precursor to Yakuza, True Crime, Sleeping Dogs. Like most of the open world games that we play take a lot of stuff from Shenmue that existed and was great, but we're past that.
Yeah,
it doesn't work anymore. I liken it to like Eminem, right? If you listen to Eminem now, and it's not as great. But if you think back to when you listened to Eminem as a kid, it was like, he's doing everything that I'm not supposed to do as a kid. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's cursing, he's saying all sorts of craziness, and it was like, oh my God, Eminem's the greatest of all time. But now you listen to him now, and it's like, wow. Like, no, a lot of that stuff was really juvenile fun. It wasn't like, fun. Like, that wasn't great. So that's where I'm at with Shenmue, and it hurts because it's like, I was a big fan of Shenmue, and now I'm not. And now I'm even like, oh, do I want to play Shenmue 3? Because even the story itself isn't good. Like it's not even like I can go back and be like, you know what? Despite all the crap this game has with like gameplay and being a game, the story is still really good, and it would make a great movie. So video games are art. Like it's not even that, because the story doesn't make it. Like the story makes sense, but it's not good. Like the story, to sum it up as most blanketly as possible, the main character, Ryo's father, is killed by a guy who's looking for two mirrors that are antique mirrors. And Ryo decides, after watching his father die, who was teaching him how to be a martial artist, that he is ready to go and avenge his father's death. So he chases down this man all across the country just to take him down. And in Shenmue 2, he goes to a whole other country to try to do this, and it's like, what?
With this, I mean, there might be spoilers. We can put on the warning. Does he do it?
He doesn't. That's the best part. That's what Shenmue 3 is. Like, Shenmue 2 didn't wrap up the story.
That's why they wanted Shenmue 3. Right. So he can finally get the guy.
And that's the best part. Yu Suzuki has gone on record to say that he wants to continue the Shenmue franchise, so he doesn't think Shenmue 3 is going to be the end of the story.
They don't even have that much money on the game, though. Like, even by regular budgets, got the Kickstarter, then everyone put more on it with the developer that bought it. Well, the studio that bought it. I forgot who's even publishing it right now, but I'll post it on the video.
I don't know, but it's just like even the story is like bad. The way that you go about investigating and like trying to figure out. So like it's the premise, the beginning point of a lot of stuff that we do now in video games. So like investigating, you have to go out and like canvass the neighborhood to find out who witnessed different things and put this puzzle together. As you're canvassing the neighborhood, first of all, the audio is shit. Like, this is the most quiet town in the history of the universe.
Yeah, it's
like,
just blank. There's no
it's just
ambient
dead
noise.
silence, yeah.
And then footsteps.
But if you look around, it looks like everybody's in conversation. So what the hell's going on? Right? So then you go up and you have conversation. This is probably my biggest pet peeve with the whole game.
All right.
Is that you start a conversation, right? So you engage in conversation. You press, I forgot if it's X or triangle, but I was playing Spider-Man recently, so I don't remember if it's X or triangle. But you press the button to engage in conversation, right? And you get 2 sentences into the conversation. It's very clear that this conversation is not over. And then it just stops. And you have to re-engage the conversation. Like, you have to go back into...
Oh, it's like one of the...
Like, you can walk away with just 2 sentences.
Oh, that is really old. I know what you're talking about.
Right.
It's like you have people who, it's like, oh, I got to interact with this person. Hello, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing fine. They'll just stand there. So, did you hear about this?
Yeah.
And then you
just say, wait, why didn't we just continue this conversation stream?
I mean, some games just have that as like a passive feature for like when you're more adventure games, when like a main character is finished talking with you, but you can continue to say more. versus this where this is the whole
This
conversation.
is the real
necessary.
conversation. Like, this is the important part of the conversation, not the passive part, not the we did the whole dialogue that tells you everything you need to know about this next piece of the story. But if you still want to talk to me, I've got a couple other things I want to say that have nothing to do with the game. But no, this is literally like, hey, how are you? I'm doing great. Were you in town during that time of the accident? Yes, I was.
Turns away.
All right, now hit the button again.
Oh,
hey!
hi.
But it doesn't even like pick up from the end of that sentence. No, it starts from you asking again. Like you go back in and you're like, so on the day of that incident, were you in town? And he's like, yes, I was. This is what happened. You literally just finished that. Like you just finished saying you were in town. Why didn't you just keep going from there? Why did I have to ask you again? It doesn't make any sense.
They expected you to run around and not
I don't know what
speak
they
with him.
expected.
It's
just,
not holding up, is it?
It doesn't. The game doesn't withstand the test of time at all. And honestly, anyone who feels like the game is still amazing is lying, blatantly lying.
Maybe for Shenmue 3, they should have just done a recap. Just go because there are games that come with a recap for the next of the game. Just
I think it's still going to come with a recap though.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of stuff that happens in Shenmue 1 and 2 where like. You can still finish the game without getting all the information. So like there are things you can skip learning about and just happen to come across the answer to. Like
I actually wanted to talk about because this made me think of something about old games having a bad feature that were improved upon. Stuff like having to constantly press a button and talk to someone. Classic games that are also considered original favorites also have that problem. Deus Ex, the original game, was a phenomenal PC game when it came out. But some of the stuff doesn't really hold up. Like when you're going around and you're like finding things and you find a password to a door, it's saved in your notes. When you get to said door, you gotta go back into your notes, go over to the main screen, find where the note is written down. Oh, here's the passcode. And now I just gotta physically enter the passcode. Versus new games where you just walk up and it says, oh, you know this passcode, it's this.
yeah.
The same, and then that goes further with another analogy for them. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the last one that came out, had an 11-minute summary of the previous game.
That's fantastic. Like that tells me everything I need to know about the last game if I didn't play it.
Yeah, because I think that one's the best in the series. Come at me, it's better than the original. But I recommend it. You can just get caught up, so it's fine.
It's crazy because like now that we looked at the box and we see that there's no term that says remastered, there's nothing that says HD. I'm a little less bothered because when I was like playing it, I'm like, wow, if this is a remake, Capcom really set the bar high because their remake is crazy good for Resident Evil. Like new textures, minus the whole weird eye thing, but like new textures, new control system. Inventory system is like redone. Like all of it is just redone and perfect and modernized. While Shenmue is literally just like, here you go. This is what you wanted, right? And again, it brings me back to that double-edged sword of, do we want old games to be remade? Because Final Fantasy VII, I feel like will be the same thing. Like I replayed Final Fantasy VII like a year ago.
Really?
On PS1, yeah. And as I'm playing through it, I'm like, wow, this game really doesn't have a great story. And it's kind of weak in gameplay mechanics, especially compared to nowadays. Yeah, if they were to remake this, I wouldn't want them to remake it as it is. I would definitely want them to make it modern. Like
I think they're planning on doing the same combat as like 15.
Yeah, they are.
Based on what
yeah.
I'm seeing, and based on what they did with Kingdom Hearts 3, it's like they're trying to do that real time.
I would love the old combat system because I do like the turn-based combat systems. Right? But everything else can go. Like everything else has to be updated. So it's like a really big toss-up. Like which one is right, which option is wrong. And in this case, this was really the wrong option, Sega. Like this was not the right decision at all.
So don't pick it up is kind of what you're getting at here.
I mean, for $30 you get 2 games, $15 a piece, I guess. Like if you really, really want to play through it. Otherwise, if you want to know what the story's about or like what the big hype was, just watch something on YouTube. Like watch a recap.
Watch a
video.
summary.
Like,
yeah.
There are people who have taken all the cutscenes and compiled them into a movie format.
That'd be way better.
Which is not great because it also explains the flaw of how bad this story is. But that's the better way to go about it. Like overall, it's a wash. It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
All right. Well, now I don't want to play it at all either. But I mean, if you think we're completely wrong, you can tell us in the comments on how we're wrong. Maybe everyone's right, and we're just blinded by our love for new games. But tell us.
Yeah.
Come at me about Deus Ex. Hey, this is Chet from Hard Mode Gamers. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Click that like button, thumbs up, click that subscribe button. We appreciate anything you can offer, even if it's just a moment of your time. We have plenty more of this content available to you at our website at hardmodegamers.com or right here on YouTube. Check us out, and thank you.